Not getting any sound, bro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really quiet.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I know it was hard to hear. Um, Apparently they had a lot of noise suppression because the jet engine was still running in the background. But apparently JD Vance went on the plane and tried to ask Kamala why she doesn't answer any questions from reporters or hasn't, and she pretty much blew him off. And he went outside and talked to the reporters for a few minutes and said he thought it was really disrespectful of her toward the reporters. And I just have a real quick question. Um,
Mm.
so I got it paused right here. This woman right here that my mouse cursor is on.
Isn't is that the DEI hire?
Is
Oh, she
is
looks
that
very
the same
familiar,
one?
right?
Is that the same
I'm pretty
one that
sure
was
it
protecting
is.
Trump?
I'm kind of sure it was. I recognized her from the beginning, but in the uniform, everyone looks fairly similar, man. Nah, actually, I don't think so. Different forehead. Actually, now I don't know. Play a bit more video. I think it's a different person, but it is another very similar looking. Should we say?
Yeah, yeah. If that's not the same woman, it's definitely another DEI hire. You know what I mean?
She looks young. She looks like the younger sister or something, or maybe she just. Dude, it is the same woman, isn't
I
it?
thought it was. I thought it looked like her. And there's been a couple other people across X that have been like, "Is that the same person?
Mm,
Is that the
we
lady
we
that couldn't
need
put her gun
we
in her holster 4 times?"
we need the HD version, man. We need to we need to lock in there, zoom in a bit.
Right?
But yeah, hmm. Okay, so what happens?
Yeah.
So Vance goes in.
Yeah. Yeah. Vance went to confront Kamala, I guess, about not talking to
Yeah.
reporters. And pretty much got blown off, which we pretty much expected would be the thing that happened. Because she hasn't talked to reporters. She can't talk to reporters because she's a moron.
Mm.
And she'll just say something stupid.
I saw her reporting or talking with reporters at one time, saying how like she was giving a big speech on stage, and she was saying, how JD Vance is super weird, and
Yeah,
that's the big
man.
thing, is like,
Weird is the word of the day, apparently.
hmm.
Um, they've
So Vance is weird.
Trump's weird.
Trump is weird. She's a brat.
She,
Hmm.
Kamala's so Julia. Like,
No idea what it means. I've heard the brat thing around more, so I guess I'm just kind of like completely out of it. Total fucking boomer or whatever.
no, no, man. I
Because
listened to the
yeah,
song. The song is garbage. The song that it's
okay,
from.
there's a
It's
song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
It's a
right.
song. It's called what? It's like 361 or some bullshit like that. I don't even remember. I don't want to remember. But I listened to the song.
Right.
The song's like Gen Z garbage music. I
Right.
hated every second of it, and I couldn't believe that anybody actually liked that song. That's how horrible it is. It's just shit, and that's, I guess, what the
And that's
kids
what it's
like.
based on. Okay, this is okay. So it's a song. I thought I knew it was something to do with an artist or something, right? So that's the Kamala meme, and that's what is gonna put Vance in the ground, man. I mean, she's winning. Apparently, they got these huge ideas, huge meetings going on. The borders, they want to open them. What else is Kamala talking about? I need to find the clip.
We're gonna
I
open
have
the
it to hand
borders and
nearly.
abort everyone,
There was that as well. Yeah, let's just
and we're
have a
gonna take your
look.
guns away.
That was it. Yeah. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. But there was she gave a speech not so long ago.
Oh,
Just
Vance has
sitting up
been
on the
calling out
stage.
Walls for his uh, deployment dodging too.
Really? They've already started on that. Have
Yeah,
they actually? Okay, so they crossed swords already. Like on the.
yeah,
That's funny, man.
and their big thing
Well,
now is talking about. I don't know what it's about, but their big thing now is talking about Vance and couches.
yeah, that's like I'd seen they're constantly trying to discredit him in some way or other. So it's calling him weird, and now something about a couch. Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, like they're
Hmm.
trying to insinuate that he has like intercourse with couches.
Like American Pie, but with a couch.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, American Pie, but with the couch is like what they're memeing. Um,
What? Between the cushions? He slides it in there. Really? That's how he gets down? What?
I That's what they're trying to insinuate.
That's wild, bro. That's what they're saying. They know this, or they just picked it out of the air. What if he? What if he actually does it? My
That
God,
then that
he's a
would be
couch
weird.
fucker. That it would be
Be
pretty
right
weird,
back.
but I've heard of weirder thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll let you
All
monologue
right.
there for a minute. My kids run around. I gotta grab them real
Monologue.
quick.
Oh, no worries. Monologue. Yeah, you got me, the pure the pool here, commentating your life. While Ryan goes and fixes that. Yeah, so I will try and find the clip of Kamala. All I know is she's sitting on a throne. She's sitting on the throne, sitting up there on stage, and she was saying something. I saw it earlier today while I was putting diesel in the tank.
Okay, crisis averted.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good because I can't even find the clip of Kamala. We're not very prepared. This
That's
is a
okay.
fucking
That's okay. We do
yeah.
have
The sound wasn't working on the other one.
no big deal.
The thing and the thing. Yeah. I've
Let's
got
roll
one
into
that's good.
the
I got
yeah. Let's do that
yeah.
before we roll into the SDI thing.
The tactical one. Or you want to look at the Kamala?
Um, either one, whichever one you want to go with.
Play the tactical meme while I get Kamala ready. You look in the chat, yeah. You'll see it.
Yeah,
The
I got you.
tactical.
Let me change your
Five
screens here.
five stages. Yeah.
The 5 stages of tactical.
Right.
Stages of tactical. Stage 1. You are living in ignorant bliss. You refuse to believe you need more than just your trusty hunting rifle or double-barrel shotgun, jeans and camo shirt, Carhartt jacket. The feds won't raid
Oh,
your
look,
home.
it's Tim Walsh.
Why should they? You've got nothing to hide. You're no criminal. You spend your free time drinking with buddies, plinking in the woods, and watching Demolition
Just
Ranch
gotta
at
refresh the
45.
stream. There we go.
Stage 2. You start learning about Ruby Ridge, Waco, and other abuses of power that the public education system has kept hidden from you. You start seeing how the media lies and manipulates you. You pay closer attention to the erosion of your gun rights. This makes you angry. How could those bastards do this? You find yourself watching Iraq veteran 8888 political rants and InfoWars. You join the gym. You start rucking. You decide to upgrade your arsenal with an AR, a sidearm, and a tactical shotgun. Stage 3. You start preparing for the worst. You need more weapons, more gear, food storage, water purification, Garand Thumb urban survival vids. The world is going to hell. You put a medkit together, then another, then another. You actually buy a pair of binoculars. Still not good enough. If you can just acquire one more piece of gear, everything will be okay. One more rifle, and you'll be able to arm all your neighbors. Then it will all be fine. 3 hours of nut and fancy knife reviews. 511 pants and Glock shirt. You maxed out your credit card buying night vision goggles. You'll do anything to feel safe again. But
Not
you
gonna
weren't
lie,
safe.
I can't
Nobody
really
is safe.
watch nothing fancy.
Stage 4. You spend every weekend at the range. You take tactical shooting classes as often as possible. just so you can feel a slight rush of adrenaline or something other than total despair. You dry fire at the faces on TV while you watch C-SPAN. Your girlfriend left you weeks ago. That's okay. She was probably a Fed anyway, same as your neighbors. You've memorized every recipe in the anarchist cookbook. Weapons, flashlights, radios, knives, ballistic vests, ballistic helmets, thermal sights. Most of these are still in the boxes they came in. You're almost broke. Nothing satisfies. AI Batman can't even stop you from lubing your rifle multiple times per day. No amount of preparation makes you feel any safer. Nothing brings you peace. Destruction is imminent. Stage 5. You finally realize the truth. You are being driven by fear. And now you are no longer afraid. You sell all your weapons except for your AR and sidearm. You downsize your gear to the bare minimum. You unplug from your comm system and learn to communicate in clicks and whistles. You start spending more time in nature, sharpening your senses until your echolocation ability makes night vision obsolete. You understand that when the ATF eventually raids your home, you will die. You're fine with that. It's in the hands of fate. Now that you are no longer a schizoid, your friends and neighbors welcome you back with open arms. Maybe you can help them when things get tough. Maybe you can be the leader they need. Coincidentally, the 5 stages of tactical also line up with the 5 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance.
That's totally true. I've reached stage 5. I'm 100% stage 5, buddy. Did you say you had a Kamala clip before we roll into what's going on?
I do have a. Yeah. You sure you're in stage 5, man? Jeez.
I'm
You've gone the whole
five.
way
I've
around.
come to acceptance. Come to acceptance.
I'm in the. Alright. I'm sending it to you now.
I wish my chair didn't creak so much.
In your XDMs.
Hey, you know what would help my chair not creak so much? I could afford to buy a new one. If you guys would go to MagDump.net and buy the Eugene Stoner Legacy t-shirt.
I thought you were going to use the plug for the rifle oil, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
lube
it up with the oil. It surely
it
wouldn't. You blew it, man. You could have lubed it out with the, like we were watching.
With the
old tactical
liquid
with
whatever.
SIF-TAC.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure to put oil in the holes in the sides of my bolt carrier too. That way I can blow my gun straight to hell.
Straight to hell, yeah. Let's.
I don't need a gun.
Yeah. Do you see the link in your XDMs?
Oh, just a moment. Boomer alert here.
Okay.
I got distracted.
The 500th of today.
Phone, yeah, that's a normal thing for me. In the XDMs?
Yeah, XDMs, yeah. It's under the picture you sent me of Marge Simpson.
Oh, here it goes. I had to refresh the page. There it is.
Yeah. Just so I know where I'm probably pretty sure you know where you filed it.
This it? Everybody needs to be woke in 2017? Oh, God.
Yeah, it is an old video that's doing the rounds right now, but it needs to be seen. It needs to be put in all its glory on stream. What's up, SJ? The heat is a killer. Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Hey, SJ, what's up? But yeah, the heat's a killer. The heat is absolutely awful, and it's been killing me.
Thank God for aircon, right?
Thank God mine's fixed. Is like X is broken for me on mobile. If I'm not on a Wi-Fi network.
X is working fine for me.
Yeah. Like
is the Kamala video gonna?
Yeah. We'll go ahead and hit play on this. I was trying to figure that out on my mobile because the cell phone network ate it earlier today for like an hour, and ever since then, X has not worked on the cell phone network. I've had to be connected to Wi-Fi. It's really weird. It's the only thing I have that's not working the way it's supposed to. You know what I mean? But anyway, without further ado, let's click this video and let it rock.
And we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
Okay, and what? I
And
need
you
to
know,
watch it again.
we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
You know,
What she's saying here, she gets so upset when the refugees come. She doesn't quite understand law and order. This is why she is too radical. She doesn't quite understand how the country works.
you know why I think she's a radical?
Don't you think?
I think she's a radical just because she's too damn dumb to know anything. To be honest, I think that's what it is. That's the problem I see with modern democratic leadership, is that, you know, used to these people were they were still like bad people, but they were
Yeah.
at least smart. And
Right.
now they're bad people and they're idiots.
Mm.
Um, she is radical. She's dangerous, and everything she's doing is dangerous. Everything that she would do as president is dangerous. We need to stay as far away from this woman as possible. And I really don't believe the polls that she's
Nah,
that close to
I don't.
Trump.
But the
I
thing
think that's
is,
all fluff.
if we can even do a little deep dive, go down the old rabbit's hole today on today's stream, of looking at what she actually wants to enforce. I have another clip of her where she says, you know, she wants to make a lot of change. But
What is that change?
what is the, yeah, nail on the head. So she's talking with now Tim Walsh a lot, and Tim sees himself as a bit of a pheasant killer, you know, a bit of a pheasant hunter,
He's
bit of a
the
badass.
definitive FUD.
He
Like, he is FUD.
yeah, so they're quite a funny pair, you know. Yeah, IR FUD. Yeah, he is FUD for sure, man. I mean,
He's the poster boy.
I don't know
for
if
the
you want to
FUD
see that.
pictures. No, with that little shotgun picture with all the blaze shit on. He is the definition of it.
Right.
But if you
You
got
want to
another
have
clip,
a quick
we'll pull it
look
up.
maybe at what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's not so much as a clip. You might want to jump through it. It is what's just happened. It's only been uploaded a couple hours ago, and it's a speech they've just given Kamala
is
and
this,
Tim. And
The
so
Michigan rally. I was actually trying to find this full video. earlier,
yeah,
So I'm glad that
it's
you can find
literally
it.
been uploaded 1 hour ago, right? So we're kind of, let's just have a little peek at this. Jump in. It's the first time I'm seeing it as well, and I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
It's piqued my interest because
Yeah,
I have
wanna
no
know,
idea what these people
You know,
actually.
we shouldn't ignore what these people are saying at their rallies and stuff as conservatives. We need to pay attention to what they're saying, because that's their message to these people that are somewhat willing to vote for them. And we need to know what they're
Yeah.
thinking. You have to know, you have to know your enemy, and these people are very much the enemy of freedom. And if we just ignore them and don't pay attention to what they're saying, then we're just letting them go. So we have to say something. We have to watch what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's see what's going on.
Thank you. 'Cause, you know, I think, 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 you know, I big thank you to Adam. I think we can all agree our future's pretty bright. Thank you, Adam. And hello, Michigan. You know, we Minnesotans, you probably know this. We're a stoic people of few words. But
Sounds
holy
really
hell,
low on
can
the
you
stream
throw a
on the
party
video.
here in Michigan?
Yeah, it's really low playing back for me too. I've boosted the
Wow.
game, so it's not.
I want to take a moment to
down.
acknowledge a few friends, folks that I've gotten to know, and let's be very clear. This is someone who I consider my dearest friend, and someone who taught all the other governors how to fix the damn roads. Governor Whitmer. You have got a treasure in Michigan. And I'll tell you what, we share a lot between us in the upper Midwest. We share. Oh, we need some water. We have somebody down. We need some water.
Somebody falling out.
They're legally robbing you. And it's happening every time you pay for car insurance.
Medic. We need a medic right here. You got somebody here? Got him? All right, we got a medic on the way. Thank you for caring
The
for your
audio's
neighbors.
nice and clear on the
Thank
map.
you for showing
It's
what
just the
Michigan
audio of the
does.
campaign, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's not even.
Look, we share a lot of
processed
things.
into
That's
high
one of
def
them.
yet.
We're neighbors and we're not weird, that's for sure. But I got to tell you, something else we share is a care for the incredible natural resources. We in the upper Midwest, in our states, we care for 20% of the world's fresh water in those Great Lakes.
Oh, the weird thing.
And the Great Lakes have no better friend than your Senator Stabenow. I got some members of Congress I had the privilege of serving with and some that are new to that place. Let's be clear. We got to put gavels in the hands of these Democratic representatives so that we can get some work done. My friend Dan Kildee, Debbie Dingell, Haley Stevens, Alyssa Slotkin, Hillary Scholten, Representative Thander, I believe just won a primary here, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, and the chair of the Michigan Democratic Party, Lavora Barnes. Thank you. And I want to just take a moment. It's been a pretty interesting 24 hours for me, I'll have to be honest. And I don't know how I could explain to you walking into that arena in Philly or that field out in Wisconsin or right here to what I have been told is the largest rally of the campaign. And look, this is a place full of working folks, students, folks who care. And I think about this. You came out here early, found a place to park, stood in the sun, sat here and wait, and you did it. You did it for one simple and eloquent and beautiful reason. You love this country. You love this country. I couldn't be prouder to be on this ticket and to help make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. Every day of her life, Vice President Harris fights for the American people. She's taken on predators, fraudsters, and transnational gangs. You heard it. She stood up to powerful corporate interests, and she has never hesitated to reach across the aisle, try and find some common solutions. And she has done it, and this is what we know. All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is they try to steal the joy from this country. They try and steal the joy. But you know what? You know what? Our next president brings the joy. She emanates the joy.
She brings so much joy she can't stop cackling.
I know a little something about that commitment to people. I was born in a small town of 400 people in Nebraska, and community was the way of life. My mom and dad taught me you show generosity to your neighbors, and you work for a common good amongst them. At 17, I joined the Army National Guard.
then you dodge deployments.
And for the next 24 years, it was a privilege to wear the uniform of this country. And just as it did for my dad, a Korean War era veteran, and millions of others, I used the GI Bill to get a college education. Followed a bit in my dad's footsteps. He was a teacher. My brothers and sisters were teachers. And they married teachers. I had the privilege of teaching high school social studies. And I coached the football team. We did win a state championship. I tell you that because don't ever close the yearbook is my pro tip to you. My students are the ones who encouraged me to run for office. I never thought much about it. But they saw in me what I hope to instill in them, a commitment to the common good, a true belief that one person truly can make a difference in their world. I lived in a district where I didn't know this at the time, only one other Democrat since 1892 had won that district. And on that election night, my neighbors graced me with the opportunity to go to the United States Congress and represent them. I learned how to compromise without compromising my values. I learned how to work across the aisle to get good things done for people. And now as governor of Minnesota, I bring those experiences together so we can tackle some of those hard problems, inequities, climate change, all of the things that we care about.
Inequity.
Now, we got a lot of shared values in this room. By the way, is labor in the room? This might be my chance to use it. Yeah! Yeah! We know who built the middle class, but here's the deal.
It wasn't the UAW.
What we know is Donald Trump, he sees the world a bit differently than we see the world. And I've been saying it. He doesn't know the first thing about service because he's way too busy serving himself.
I don't think that Rusty would be here today if it wasn't for the farmer's dog. He was always...
This is a big difference. Again and again. He does things that weakens our country, only to strengthen his own hand. He mocks our laws. He sows division amongst the public.
Wow.
And that's to say nothing about his record as president.
Sorry about that, guys.
He is that. He is that.
It's kind of like
we had the worst
back in
crisis
the day
of a generation.
when you'd be watching a TV show, you have to turn it way up, and
during
the commercial
COVID.
would come on and blow you out of the room.
People lost their lives because of that. He drove the economy into the ground, and make no mistake, violent crime was up during Donald Trump's presidency. And that's not even counting the crimes he committed. So, some of the gray hairs in here remember a Republican Party that used to actually talk about
He kind of
freedom.
looks like he stuck his finger in a light socket, doesn't he?
These guys, when they talk about freedom, it means government has the freedom to invade your exam room with your doctor. Now, I know, look, we got a lot of commonalities. And I'll say this, as an NFC North guys, Vikings fans are proud of the Lions. I will say that. I will say that.
Did he say that Trump ruined the economy? Because I remember gas being like $1.86.
But in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors' personal choices.
And now it's like $3.86.
We may not agree with them or make them from ourselves, but I've been saying this. You all know it. Our golden rule is mind your own damn business. Just mind your own business. It's amazing what minding your own damn business does to make things work better. Don't like a book, don't read it. Is there anybody in America sitting around in a bar, a bunch of people talking and say, you know what we need in this country? We need to ban Animal Farm. That's the first thing we need to do. Nobody says that. But you know what? It would be fun if it wasn't so dangerous, because then they start thinking about things like IVF and banning IVF. And I have to tell you, this is very personal for my family. When my wife and I decided to have children, we went through years of fertility treatments. Remember, every time the phone rang, I'd catch my breath, I'd feel nervousness, and then it would be a crushing feeling when they told us that the treatments didn't work. The agony of that I can feel to this day. But I can also feel some joy in this, because it wasn't by chance, as I say this, when our daughter, and we finally conceived, and our daughter was born, we didn't hesitate at all. We named her Hope. We named her Hope. But I do have to tell you something about hope. My wife always tells me this. It's not a damn plan. We can't hope we beat this guy. We can't hope that things get better. We go out and work our butts off to make sure it happens. So when our next president walks out here and she talks about freedom, she means the freedom to make your own healthcare decisions. And when she comes out here and talks about that our children should be free to go to school without being shot dead in their classrooms.
There it is. There's the anti-2A spiel.
Look, we believe strongly in Minnesota in the Second Amendment, just like you do. But we also believe strongly in common sense gun violence prevention law.
Fucking Fed. Common sense gun laws equals we're going to take your shit away
Freedom
from
to
you.
an education's a ticket to the middle class, not crushing student loan debt. And it's a place where we know freedom means we settle our political differences not through violence, but with our votes.
Hi, I'm JT and I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all,
you get it. You drove out here. You stood here. Yay. Please. Look, and let's all decide right now on this, whatever. We know it's going to be a hard race. We know it's going to be close. But let's don't be so close
Are they
that
showing
these guys
me?
have anything to say. Let's don't be so close that there's anything.
They're showing
Let's
Trump.
just win the damn thing by a
What are they
broader
showing?
margin.
What?
It sounded like the crowd was shouting
Simple
Trump.
proposition. This election's about which
couldn't
direction this
tell
country's
'cause
going to
it's
go
real low
in.
on my end.
We know Donald Trump's taking us backwards, and don't believe the act. He's playing dumb. He knows exactly what Project 2025 is going to do to our personal liberties. Destroy unions, rig the economy for the ultra-wealthy. We know that when he goes back, he's picking up and doing the same things he did when he was there the last time.
Does
Except-
anyone buy this? The crowd doesn't
except,
sound like they're
you all
buying
know
it.
this. It will be much,
They don't even look like
much
they're buying it.
worse when he comes back. Raising costs
Except for
for all
maybe
of
that
you,
lady in the
repealing the
purple, with
Affordable
the
Care
purple
Act.
hair.
He doesn't care.
I think she's
Cutting
buying it.
Social Security, and be very clear. They can say whatever they
Oh
want.
man.
They are banning
I thought that
abortion
lady
across
in the
this
back
country,
behind
no
the
questions
purple-haired
asked.
woman had
No
blue
questions
hair.
asked.
But she got a blue headband on.
Yeah, you think this guy cares about you or your family? His running mate has the same dangerous and backward agenda as Trump. Well, heck, you all know it. Every regular person in the heartland went to Yale, had Silicon Valley billionaires fund his career, and then he writes a book trashing the very community.
Oh,
he
here we
made.
go. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That whole thing is, I wasn't calling anybody names. I was just making an observation about them. We can see it. And here's my thing. There's a lot of things going to happen, by the way. We got about 91 days, and I keep telling people this, 91 days. My God, you can do anything for 91 days.
Except answer reporters' questions, I think.
Christ, I haven't slept in 24 hours. You know why? We'll sleep when we're dead. We'll sleep when we're dead. Get it done. Here's my brass ring I'm looking for.
He's on
I can't
meth.
wait to debate this guy. I cannot wait to
Hey,
talk
you know what?
about
They got
what
Joe
they think.
drugged up. Probably they have
I
issues
can't
like that
wait
too.
to ask him why he wants to
Whoa.
take health care
That
and
was
take
the meme.
reproductive rights, and why he
That
wants
was
to
the
make
meme.
sure that the wealthiest pay no taxes
We campaign
as
on
we destroy unions
methamphetamines.
in the middle class. So here's the deal. You said it. These ideas
Guy's
that they're putting
jaw,
out
nice.
there, they are
Jacked
weird
up
as
on
hell.
Mountain
No
Dew.
one's asking for it.
Before too
No
long,
one's
he's gonna
asking
be
for it.
every time he
We're
talks,
asking
he's
a
gonna be
fair
chewing on
shot.
cud
We're
like
asking for
Destiny.
health care and child care. We're asking for an education. We're asking for safety in our streets. That's what we're asking for. And we're going to get it because that's what this campaign's about. It's about moving forward. Look,
Does anybody else notice that most
Okay.
of the people
you
in the-
know that
in the
Kamala
crowd
Harris
behind him are
believes
just,
that you
like,
should be
not
making
amused?
your own choices in your life. She believes that every person should have an opportunity to enter the middle class. She believes in something so beautiful and simple with joy. She believes in the promise of this great nation. Look, she can take care of
promise that you
herself
can be
out front,
Indian
she
or
said.
black or
They
whatever
wanna
you wanna
talk
be,
smack, she said it. Say it
and
to
the
my
establishment
face,
will
damn it.
prop
Say it
you
to my
up.
face. But what I got to say is, we got to have her back. We got to have her back. So, Madam Vice President, thank you for the trust you placed in me. Michigan, help me right now give a warm Midwest welcome to the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Really, like, you're gonna step into
There you go. Rockin', bro.
Why didn't they have Megan Thee Stallion? I'm sorry, Megan Thee Stallion.
You read my the Stallion. You read my. Why didn't we have Megan Thee Stallion? And the other one, Cardi B. I want Cardi B. Cardi B in the place to be.
Yeah,
Here she
that's who
comes.
they need. They need to have Cardi B. That'd be an interesting concert, wouldn't it? Play some whack or rock. I know a commercial break's gonna come here soon, and everybody's gonna get blasted out. So just keep
We are doing this. We are doing this.
We're doing it, guys. Fucking idiot.
Thank you. Thank you.
You think she laughed that much when she was on this was really bad?
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you think she laughed that much when she was, you know, getting down to business?
Thank you.
So, it's so
Thank
big.
Okay, come on. We got business to handle. We got business to handle.
Oh, Jesus.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Can we hear it up for Tim Walz? Isn't he amazing? He's going to be the most incredible vice president. All right, so it is good to be back and to be with so many incredible
Let's go.
leaders.
I'm on the
I
edge of
love
my
you.
seat. Policy. We're here for policy.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thank you
Yep. Tara
for
Whitmer.
your friendship, your sisterhood, and your leadership, and we are going to do this together.
Together, everybody.
Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, thank you so much. His parents are over there, and the members of Congress, including Senator Debbie Stabenow, my dear friend.
K-12 makes going back to school easy. We send you everything you need to start the school year. Just open your door, open the box.
And your next next United States Senator, Representative Elisa Slotkin.
Oh, the ear rape. The ear rape is strong.
We're gonna get that done.
Guys. It's just the way the audio
Mayor
is on
Mike
this
Duggan,
video.
thank you for the warm welcome always. And of course, it is so good to be with the President of the United Auto Workers, my dear friend Sean Fang. And last week, it was my honor, it feels like last year. Last week, it was my great honor to accept the endorsement of the United Auto Workers.
What's UAW got to anything to do with it?
And the UAW has always worked to lift up the working people of our nation.
That's why American cars are such high quality.
What are they?
Need a medic over there, please. There should be medics.
What are they cheering for? Trump again?
We're good?
UAW.
All right. Look, let's all take care of each other and look out for each other, all right? That's who we are. We look out for each other. Okay. So, as I said to Sean, as I talked to Sean about this election is going to be a fight. We like a good fight.
Okay.
When
Policy,
you know
policy.
what you stand
Policy
for,
chat.
you know what to
Policy.
fight for, we know what we stand for.
We need policy.
So
Imagine
I'm
being
so
in that
proud to
crowd.
have UAW
Imagine
by my
recording
side
this on your
because y'all
phone.
know how to
Imagine
fight,
live
know how to
streaming this.
win.
Imagine getting a Woody for this.
Today, I also bring greetings from our incredible
Look at the
President
lady
Joe
in the
Biden.
back on the right. She's got a "We Can Do It" shirt on, and it's got a woman with purple
That's
hair and a
right.
mask.
Joe. That's right. And I know we are all deeply, deeply grateful to Joe for his
I thought we agreed
lifetime
it was a
of
purple
service to our
headband. You're
nation.
now confirming
And we
it's purple
thank you,
hair.
Joe Biden,
No,
The
yeah,
hair is
yeah.
purple.
every
Yeah, her
day
hair is
for
purple.
all you
Affirmative?
are
Yeah.
and
Ear
all
rape
you
again,
still have
Andy.
yet to do.
But I'm just blown away by the "We Can Do It" shirt with the woman wearing a mask.
Oh, I see it now.
Have you noticed
I'ma
that they
tell 'em
tried
what
to
you
steal the
said.
fight thing from Trump after he got
So,
almost assassinated?
Michigan, this has
Where he
been a
said
big
fight,
week.
fight, fight. Now you hear that word from the Democrats all the time is
On
fight,
Monday,
we gotta
I
fight.
officially became the Democratic nominee for President of the United States.
They've got a phone. They've got to get some votes. No, they don't need it, man. Look, they
And
said they're going to win.
yesterday,
They're going to
I
win.
announced my running mate
Policy.
in this
We're waiting for
campaign,
policy. Policy.
Governor
Policy.
Tim
Policy. Not anecdote.
Walz.
I don't even think she can spell
And
policy.
as you just heard, he has an incredible record as governor of the great state of Minnesota. And to those who know him best,
She's not
some
going back
people
to
are just
Walz
getting
already,
know
is
him,
she?
but I'm
What?
gonna tell you, you got to know him real quick because he's incredible. He's a
incredible.
serious man. He has been a serious leader, and he loves our country. And you know, I've talked to some of the people who know him best, like his wife Gwen. And to Gwen, Tim Walz' husband. To his kids, Hope and Gus, he is dad. To his fellow
great.
veterans, he is Sergeant Major Walz.
To his fellow veterans, he's a bitch.
To the people of southern Minnesota for 12 years, he was a congressman. To his former high school students, he is Mr. Walz. And to his
Mr.
former
Balls?
high school football players, he was coach. And in 90 days,
I'm
the nation
fucking
will know Coach
bored
Walz
shitless.
by the
What is she
title
going on about?
I don't even
Vice
know.
President of the United States.
Even commentating this is fucking difficult, dude. Yeah.
That's right.
I would just like to
So
hear
it is
something
so
that
good to be
actually
back in
matters, and I've
Michigan.
not heard
And
one
listen, I am clear.
thing
The path
that matters.
to the White House runs right through this state. And with your help, we will win in November. We will win.
Let me fluff everyone's balls a little bit, give you a little reach
And
around.
I know we are all clear
Not gonna
about
tell you
what we are
anything.
up against. As many of you know, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected as a United States Senator, I was
Willie Brown's
elected
girlfriend.
Attorney General, and before that, elected District Attorney, and before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor.
Oh, here we go. It's coming.
In
That
those
was a story.
roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds.
Back in 2022, I lost two very important people in my life. Big figures. It really wasn't until
Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, scammers who broke the rules for
She put a lot of
personal
black men in
gain.
jail for smoking weed.
So hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I've been dealing with them my whole career. For example, as Attorney General of California, I took on one of the country's largest for-profit colleges that scammed students. Well, Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. You remember that? As a prosecutor, I specialize in cases of sexual abuse. Well, Donald Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. As
That's
Attorney
funny,
General,
Stevie.
I held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud. Well, Donald Trump
Oh, we're
was
getting into
found
it.
guilty of fraud.
We're getting into it
34
now.
counts to be
Get the
exact.
subtitles on. We still got subtitles again?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me get those on. That might be you.
Hold on. You know what? Here, hold on. Here's the thing. The courts are going to handle that. We're going to beat them in November. Okay? We'll beat them in November. We'll handle that. But all that to say, in this campaign, I proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
She's going to lock Trump out.
I'm sure that if they
Any
win,
day
they
of the
will,
week.
absolutely.
But make no mistake, our campaign, this campaign, is not just about us versus Donald Trump.
I do declare.
It's bigger than that. It is about two very different visions for the future of our nation.
I noticed she doesn't have a
One
southern accent
ours
today.
focused on the future, and the other focused on the past. And Michigan, we here fight for the future. We fight for the future.
Yeah, they're totally trying to kidnap the word fight.
Fight
from
for a future where
conservatives.
every worker has the freedom to join a union. Where every senior can retire with dignity. A future with affordable housing, affordable child care, affordable health care, and paid leave.
Here we go, policy.
A
Paid leave for
future
everyone.
where we build a broad-based economy where every American has an opportunity to own a home, to
Really?
start a business, and to
Really?
build wealth.
You know what the average median price of purchasing a home is in the United States right now?
And understand, in this
It's $385,000.
fight, we are joyful.
Does that sound like it's affordable?
Because while fighting for
Super
a brighter
affordable, bro.
future may
You know what the
take
average
hard
income
work,
of a
we all
single
here know hard work
male
is good work.
in America is
Hard work is good work.
per year?
We believe in a future
40K,
where we lower
50K?
the cost of
Close.
living for
37,000
families.
$37,500.
So they have a chance.
Okay.
Not just to
I knew it was
get
somewhere in that
by,
range. Right,
but to
right.
get ahead.
So if the average cost of a house is $385,000 and you make
Because look, while our
$37,500
economy
a
is
year,
doing well
how are
by
you supposed to be
many
able to
measures,
pay a mortgage
prices
and an
for
auto
everyday
payment
things like
and everything else you
groceries
need to
are
pay
still
for
too high.
every month?
You know it and I know it.
Impossible. Yeah, you need to have
When I was
much
Attorney
bigger
General,
income
I
or
went after
multiple
price-fixing
streams of
schemes.
income. Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
am president, it will be my day one priority to fight to bring down prices, to take on the big corporations that engage in illegal price gouging, take on corporate landlords that unfairly raise rents on working families, to take on big pharma and cap the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans.
This is very communist. This is what communists do.
That is the work we will do.
And then it all breaks down, and the state becomes the provider of all those things.
Unlike Donald Trump,
Green deals, it just went through the chat. You say fighting hard for an open border. Has she mentioned the border yet?
Because Coach Walls and I know the middle class built this great country of ours, and when the middle class is strong, America is strong.
The middle class is deteriorating, so that's all bullshit.
And look, as we move our nation forward, Donald Trump intends to take our nation backward. Just look at his Project 2025 agenda. Project 2025.
Cheering for Trump again.
Please do check out Project 2025. Because I'm telling you, it is a plan. It is a plan to weaken America's middle class.
Why do they keep harping on this Project 2025 thing, man?
If he is elected.
Come on now.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license? Whereas in Florida, no open...
This is a fake document where they say they're going to ban condoms.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. So,
I'm here because we believe in democracy.
they already distanced themselves from the document in the Trump administration. I think it was taken over, and they sort of planted these things into the...
Yeah, even the head
into
of
it. Stabby says, yeah, you don't understand the problem with Project 2025. They're trying to encourage people to go back to traditionalism. I believe so, but if you do read, the majority of the things on the Project 2025 weren't really like eyebrow raising at all. It was just some like really stupid things slid in there, little turds in the old punch bowl. For instance, like the banning of condoms, which would cause an AIDS outbreak worse than we already have, I expect. Wouldn't it? I don't see the sense in that, considering how much they promote non-childbearing families. If they're all going to start getting down with no condoms, the AIDS is going to go wild. Right? I mean, it's going to go... Isn't that how it spreads?
They don't even care about that.
All right, man. They don't care about that.
They just give you pharmaceuticals because they can make you undetectable with this $12,000 or $20,000 prescription. As long as you take the prescription, you can't transfer it. It's hilarious that they can get rid of AIDS to the point, or HIV to the point that they can't even detect it in the bloodstream, just as long as you're taking the medicine. But we can't cure it. Stabby's got a good point. 9% of the time, dudes aren't wearing one anyway. Yeah, that's true.
We're not going back.
But exactly, yeah. But it should be their choice if they want to wear them or not. It shouldn't be banned. Why should we ban something? Why ban it? Like, what the fuck? It doesn't make sense to me. So why ban it? You know. And when we were younger, I gotta say, I think it does help with the, you know, if people are fooling around when they're younger, you don't want a situation like the UK with a lot of, you know, the UK, as we mentioned many times, they don't have to pay to deliver their children, so there's no health care burden for them. There's no financial burden. It just gets done for them. So they have this very high rate of young pregnancies. And from personal experience, having a child too young when you haven't already built your career and like, done anything, from people I grew up with and seeing the way it affected their life, they've done everything they could for their kid. It's so difficult. And in like a communist, socialist environment like the UK, it's like fucking impossible. How are you going to live the dream? You got to raise your kid and like support your wife and everything, but there's no economy for you to function in. So yeah, it's like fit worse than death. Well, I mean, dropped in the desert without water. Here we go. There's even a fetish category for bug chasers. It would take too long to unpack how I know this, but they are real. Bug chasers. Is he meaning people that try and catch the STD? Because yeah, they even have a wing system. I heard about this years ago. It's in the frat scene. Oh yeah, you can get your wings, and it was like I get your red wings. It's like going down on a chick when she's on.
That's like
I won't get more. I won't get more nasty than that. But there's all nasty shit like that. I think probably more than ever. Imagine the kind of wings that old Destiny's got with all of his ranked system.
Oh yeah,
God, imagine the kind of things that guy's fucking got in his collection. He's gonna have some whole fucking crazy shit. I don't know if you want to change the feed over. So well, he's a guru, he's a sage. Always good to have you here. And I'll try and queue up another video because Kamala is like.
Yeah, she's boring. We can go over to SDI.
Dude, let's do the. I knew there was something in the pipe. I knew there was something coming down. Yeah. Let's do the.
Let me turn the
SDI.
volume down here. That way everybody doesn't get blown out by normal audio.
But before we get into that, we of course have to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel is whom, Charles?
Slutty Dumb Inbreeders.
So some background on this round for everyone.
That's the end of
if they don't know what the SDI is. SDI is not an STI. It's not a sexually transmitted infection or disease.
No. SDI is
something else
the
entirely.
Sonoran Desert Institute, and that is this so-called gunsmithing course that you can take, and it even is an at-home course for gunsmithing, and it's quite expensive. It does target a lot of GI Bill guys, and you have a lot of the big gun tubers like Grand Thumb and Brandon Herrera and others have been pushing SDI for a long time. I know Grand Thumb been doing it about 4 years. I guess he dropped them in his latest video. But I've always had questions about SDI. I've read, when I first saw it started being advertised with gun tubers, I started looking into it, and I thought, this sounds kind of weird. Not weird, I hate to use the word weird now. It sounds kind of off, you know what I mean? So I did a little bit of research for it and realized that it was like an at-home gunsmithing course, and you just kind of get some little piddly shit to mess with. It was about what I expected it to be, you know what I mean? I didn't know how expensive it was. I didn't really look into it past that. I just kind of wrote it off as another like BS class thing, you know what I mean? But apparently there's a lot more to this, and that egg is getting cracked open. Stabby says, I think there's pros and cons to SDI. If you're totally new, it might be a good introduction, but it's not value for money if you're at all self-sufficient. Well, yeah, that's totally where I'm at with it. Even if you are new, I think that the knowledge that they're teaching, that we'll see in this video here, is not worth what it costs. And, I mean, they're making a lot of money. A lot of money. So, let's check it out and dive into this. Let's dive on in.
Just get on in there.
By now, over the last 4 years and the like $1.5 million that SDI has shelled out to your favorite Instagram or YouTube influencer, you've probably heard about SDI. And this video was kind of weird for us, being that we're a growing channel and SDI is one of the highest paying sponsors on the docket. We were presented with the opportunity to be sponsored by SDI, and we said no. And I want to talk about why we said no, and more importantly, I think that they've had enough time. They make $60 million a year off of your GI Bills and tuition. It's time for us to talk about SDI.
I went to SDI for a whole few months there. I graduated real college in August 2022 and jumped into SDI when I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I got home in September 2022. And then I withdrew beginning of December 2022. After, 2.5-ish months there of being a student, I realized the $1,370 a month that I was paying for tuition was not actually going to get me anywhere. My first few classes were like history of firearms, technology, and a little bit about like intro to gunsmithing, I guess it was. I read some different articles on just basic level gunsmithing and how some guys have worked on older guns. History of firearms went back to very early flintlock, matchlock type stuff, all that. And then I got sent a package as they were preparing to get me set up for like the second half of the semester. And in that it included a gunsmithing textbook, a set of calipers, a tiny little bit of aluminum, and some drill bits. So presumably they were going to teach me some metalworking there. But realistically, most of gunsmithing, if you want to manufacture firearms, you're going to need to know how to run a milling machine, a lathe, that type of stuff, which they're not going to be able to teach you on a virtual classroom level.
Nope.
Yeah, so we're going to double down on that. Today I'm going to highlight, obviously, this is the weird part. If you go online, it doesn't take a lot of research. It really does not take a lot of research to find hundreds of reviews from existing students that are negative. There are positive reviews out there, obviously. With anything, you're bound to have some positive reviews, but there are an overwhelming amount of negative reviews for SDI. I'm going to pull up my phone throughout this because I have a bunch of notes, and I've actually spent a ton of time on this, but like some of them are that GI Bills is kind of SDI's bread and gravy. And it's true, they're bread and gravy, not bread and butter. Bread and gravy does tend to be going for GI Bills. So it's interesting to me that they're air quotes in accredited universities. So you'll get a degree in gunsmithing. It's an associate's degree in gunsmithing. And the three things that I want to highlight is kind of like what SDI claims they'll do for you. SDI claims that they will give you, one, a knowledge and degree in gunsmithing from an accredited university, which they will give you a degree in gunsmithing from an accredited university. They're technically accredited. A foot in the door into a career in gunsmithing, which they do. You know that they do SDI job fairs for graduates, and they work with firearms companies and manufacturers, which we ended up reaching out to, and I did talk to about hiring people with an SDI degree and what that looks like. So that's the second thing we're going to look at. And the third one is a convenient and complete coursework from the comfort of your home, because that's the most important thing. It's an online degree in gunsmithing. And I'm going to break those three things down really quickly and kind of talk about why we have a problem with it. So the big thing is the knowledge and degree in gunsmithing from an accredited university. They're accredited in the sense that they can rob your GI Bill. They're not accredited in the sense that they're respected by anyone in the industry. So I'm highlighting some points from a really cool guy who put together a whole video on it and currently does gunsmithing, runs his own shop, is a certified gunsmith, basically wants to be a PhD in gunsmithing and learn everything he can. So even though he's already successful, he went through and took the course. Obviously, Max and I worked at a gun shop, so Max was hoping to learn something and dropped out when he realized he wasn't going to learn anything. This guy's a little more committed than we are. I guess he had a little more disposable income, because the unique part about SDI is it costs $21,982 to get your 2-year degree or your associate's degree in gunsmithing. Tuition of that is $9,440, $6,000. I'm just going to put the total up here because you guys can look at it if you care. But yeah, $22,000 for your online degree in gunsmithing. You figure that by their 4,000 active students, they're making, $4.5 million a month, $50-60 million a year. So they're a huge industry, and that's why you're seeing your favorite YouTubers show them, because they are paying them a dumb amount of money. And yeah, we've seen Grand Thumb pitch it for the past 4 years. That's kind of what got this guy interested in going.
Yeah, I cited him as the reason for signing up. I put Grand Thumb in that little box where they asked me.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We did get some information when we were about to release this video, and you guys will know from Grand Thumb's most recent video at the time of posting this that he dropped SDI. That's good. It took 4 years and like $1.5 million in his pocket to do that, so I'm glad. But I'd like to see, in the future, gun YouTubers, like, we have a big influence. Research the product you're pitching. We've done this on multiple occasions where we've told you, like, we won't take a sponsor. And obviously we're not killing it on YouTube. We're not making a ton of money off of it.
Basically net loss, actually.
Yeah, we're actually still losing money off of it. But we're not going to pitch you guys a product or a service that we don't think is at least good or okay or would be good for you. And the reason that we said no to SDI, and the reason we're talking about this today, is Right Firearm Solutions did a really good 2-hour video, which we're not going to do here today.
He took the whole class. He wasn't like me, who's just a gunsmith in New Jersey.
He went through, realized he wasn't learning anything, and actually saw it to the end, finished the entire thing. He left a long-winded review online and put his first and last name, and therefore I was able to track him down. So if you ever leave a review online, don't do your full first and last name. I tracked him down and I talked to him, and he was very helpful. He sent us some coursework screenshots, some pictures of the books, because Max here was supposed to bring his book and just forgot. We are, as you can tell, in the desert for this video. Obviously, Sonoran Desert Institute. We thought there'd be a college here.
The Sonoran Dora institutionalized.
Yeah, there's no Dora in this desert. And there's also no like ice cream, which is very interesting. So
I'll have to get some on the way home.
Yeah, this is the thing, guys.
Out here.
He highlights some very key points, and the key point that we kind of want to get across is a knowledge and degree in gunsmithing from an accredited university. You get that. Talking to anyone, your degree from SDI doesn't matter.
I'd say a key word there is knowledge rather than experience. Like, you can learn all about gunsmithing you want, and I'm sure this will teach you something about it, but you're not going to have the experience of manufacturing or maintaining a ton of firearms through doing an online class.
And that's where it comes into a foot in a career in gunsmithing. Guys, I reached out to 3 separate companies. Some of them rhyme with like Pero, Incision, Calmetto, Rate Garmeries, you know, like places like that. They'll hire you if you have an SDI degree, absolutely. They will also hire you if you walk in the door and apply for a job, because they don't care
That first one I applied for at the same time that I was, you know, leaving SDI, and they did not offer to pay me very well, and so I didn't work there.
You get the same position that he would be offered from one of these people.
I had 4 years experience at a gun store building guns, and then they were like, how do you want to make less money than you're currently making to work on our production line? And I was like, no, thank you.
Anyway, your SDI degree would get you that same job offer. So you're still going to start as an entry-level person in these companies and have the ability to work the way up. But your SDI degree didn't help you get that job. They would just hire you. And that's what I've gotten from these companies, from the people that I have that are in contact there, and most of them do a lot of the hiring. So it's worth noting, like, even if you get this degree, it's not going to magically get you a job on a lathe as a machinist at this company. They won't touch you. If you go to like a real university, the most popular one that everyone talks about, I don't know if I'm allowed to name names in this, so I'm not going to, but I might put them in the description below. It's a hands-on school. You learn how to machine, and they actually have like headhunters. Right Firearm Solution was talking about that. They have headhunters, like people call the school and ask who's graduating so that they can hire them as a machinist. That's how you get into a high-paying job from this. So if you're looking to spend your $22,000 hard-earned dollars or $22,000 for your GI Bill on a degree that's going to get you a much better, higher-paying job, it's just not going to. So that's point 1 and 2. 1 and 2, you know, the knowledge and a career. Like, no, it's not going to get you into a career. Yeah, I hear they have job fairs now where they like introduce you to recruiters and employers, and people who are going to SDI and have gotten hired. I'd like you to attest to this, but every single employer that I've talked to will hire you for the same position that they'd hire some random person off the street for. So yeah, they'll hire you with your SDI degree, but it's not going to get you a better position at their business. It's just not.
You're not going to be head machinist or anything like that.
You're going to be head machinist. You're going to have the same starting point as everyone else. So you basically spend $22,000 for nothing is what they're telling us. The last point that I want to make, and this way we can keep the video semi-short because this one's going to take a minute to hammer into, convenient and complete coursework from the comfort of your home. So let's talk about the coursework behind SDI. So some of the coursework just doesn't make any sense, and it's just plain outdated. We're talking about like a muzzle loading class where you learn how to make a muzzle loader. You will never work on muzzle loaders as a gunsmith, and I don't want to say never, but it's very outdated.
So usually guys that do that specialize in that.
Yeah, especially in every state that we're in, so at least our area. Guys specialize in doing muzzle loaders, and also it's such an outdated platform that you're not getting a lot of real-world information or real-world knowledge by doing that course. So the one thing that is a hands-on course that you do have practice in, you're going to sit down at a job interview for a company that manufactures AR-15s and go, yeah, I built a muzzle loader.
Built a muzzle loader. I think there's one project, like your final thing for the class, you can work on a 1911 frame or an AR lower or something like that. You get to pick. When I was starting, I was obviously in the intro classes, but I had like an intro to firearms class or whatever they called it, and we went over some ammunition types, and my assignment was to, if any of you have used Canvas, you know what I'm talking about, do a discussion board post with the rest of my classmates talking about the uses of the ammunition types that we went over and what we think is the best for different situations. and the text that we had to read was talking about how frangible ammunition is really cool because it shatters upon impact. Very true, it's designed to do that. The text also mentioned that they recommend it for home defense for that reason, because it dumps all the energy into the target, presumably, which it would because it blows up on impact. But it also discusses how some of it has a tendency to disintegrate in your barrel, causing a catastrophic malfunction for your firearm. Also true. So, you know, maybe not the best use for home defense there, which is what it was trying to hammer home. The other one, we had to go over some firearm action types and talk about maybe which one we're most likely to encounter as a gunsmith, which ones we're least likely to encounter as a gunsmith. Some other interesting points like that, again, in a discussion board post. But one of the action types we went over was the electronic motor-powered minigun. That is clearly only for military use, or, you know, maybe some special 0702s that have a cool law letter for the military. They get to do some testing. Clearly that is the least likely thing I'll ever encounter as a gunsmith, because, you know, I need to know a lot more about electricity than I do about guns to make one of those things work, since that's how it's powered. And nobody that I'll ever meet owns one, except for those cool dudes we ran into at Shootaw. They had one for some reason.
But we weren't girls. So
we weren't girls, and we didn't want to pay $100 to shoot it for 2 seconds, which is what they were charging, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, it's stuff like that. You know, I get that it's a low-level class, but it's also not the most relevant information that I would ever need from stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about firearms action types, just Google different firearm action types, and a list probably very similar to what I went over will come up. Or if you want different ammunition types for various firearms, and the same list will come up.
On page 4 of your book, and I'm putting it on the screen right now, they say course materials and other works have been prepared by or on behalf of SDI for general information and educational purposes only. SDI makes no representations or warranties as to the completeness or accuracy of the information. In no event will SDI be liable for any errors or omissions in the information contained in this work. SDI reserves the right to change, delete, or otherwise modify the work without prior notice. SDI does not assume any responsibility for the use or misuse of information contained in this work. Anyway, this is a college, and none of the books cite any of their sources. So that's something throughout. In your high school textbooks, in your college textbooks, they all have little number boys above the things as you're reading it down, and you look at the number boy and it corresponds with a source that they're citing.
There's usually pages and pages of sources cited at the end of the book.
There is not a single source cited for SDI.
I know this because I'm a biologist.
They don't cite a single source. So their books, they go through, you go through the pages, they don't cite anything, to the point that they actually quote, at one point, and I have this written down, yeah, they don't cite any of their sources, to the point, there's a bug, to the point that they even quote Jeff Cooper, which the United States military quotes, every single firearms industry quotes and credits. Jeff Cooper is the guy who's like the father of the firearms rules, you know? So anyway, they quote him and they don't cite him. They just plagiarize him blatantly. And it is plagiarism when you don't cite your source. So throughout their book, you'll see a whole bunch of plagiarism without any quotes. There's no air quotes. There's no nothing. It's just them saying their words. So they technically commit plagiarism. We're not lawyers. We're not giving them
common
legal
knowledge
advice,
can be cited without a source. But, you know,
they don't cite a single source throughout the entire book.
It would have been cool to put his name in there for him.
Some of the other options, like where they do that, is they say things that are like conflicting information. And the point of SDI is that it's supposed to be, according to them, a good and complete source for people of all stages, whether you have a lot of firearms knowledge or a little bit of firearms knowledge or no firearms knowledge. And the problem with the coursework is that it's designed to work for everyone, which means it works for no one. So for instance, if you have absolutely no firearms knowledge whatsoever and you're starting at SDI, on one of the first pages of the rifle book, it says rifle shooters only shoot 20 to 30 rounds per session, while handgun users shoot 50 to 100 rounds per session.
Maybe if you're a boomer.
Where does that even come from? There's no source for that. It's not true. It's inaccurate. 20 to 30 rounds is less than one magazine from your AR-15. Like, you're popping off one mag and then you go, oof.
What a day.
That was a good, hard, long session right there. And I know all about good, hard, long sessions. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is absurd. And then this is the best part, because not even more than 5 pages after the exact page where they say rifle shooters only shoot 20 to 30 rounds per session, handgun users shoot 50 to 100, they say, you need to lubricate your gun thoroughly because many shooters go through 150 to 200 rounds per shooting session, and your rifle must be well lubricated to overcome high heat and carbon buildup while shooting. So they just told you that you only shoot 20 to 30, and then 8 pages later, they're telling you that they go 150 to 200 rounds per session, and your rifle may be well lubricated to overcome high heat and carbon buildup. First of all, 150 to 200 rounds is not going to create enough high heat or carbon buildup to prevent your rifle from working.
That's 5 to 7 magazines.
So they say this information, they say these things to people, and then 8 pages later, they give you different information. And again, they don't cite a source. A lot of the courses are like this. They give you this information, and then some pages later, they give you completely different information. And also, we've all run our guns bone dry. My current rifle has over 1,000 rounds through it without putting more lubricant on it, and it's fine.
So I think I cleaned my carry gun even after the last time shooting it.
And they just work. So it's very weird to give that kind of like conflicting information. And they go into this more with like Spartan Lube, they claim, or whoever their sponsor is. I'll put it right here. But some company sponsored their books, and they say that it improves the velocity and accuracy of your firearm when you clean with it without citing a single source.
Muzzle velocity.
That's
a stumper.
It's interesting. Muzzle velocity and accuracy is the claim. And again, no source. So you're giving this textbook to people who know nothing about firearms and then giving them incorrect or conflicting information in some areas. And there's just no sources cited throughout the entire book, so it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, I can't tell you where that information came from. It just came from my SDI textbook. And SDI is somehow now in authority because they make $50 million a year after siphoning your hard-earned GI Bill. Well, you lost a leg in combat or whatever and want to be a
I mean, if they want to write their own textbook, that's fine, but they should get their own, military prior gunsmiths or whoever, someone who at least can cite their experience and then cite them as the source.
Yeah, the exact source that SDI gives, and thank you for bringing that up, the source that SDI gives is actually on the front of every booklet. They say it's from gunsmiths and blogs and articles and YouTube.
Oh, they got the Reddit AI info
They
from
have
Google?
like the Reddit AI info. And the other thing to note, and this is the hardest part that we're going to hammer in, there are video links throughout the textbook for YouTube videos that are not made by SDI. They're made by other people that you're supposed to watch as a portion of your coursework to learn about the information. So,
which is actually common practice throughout other schools because I did that all the time for college.
Yeah, it's common practice. It's not common practice to have it as like the main learning point for your entire course. And then also, if YouTube takes down this firearms content, which they have started doing, their coursework becomes mute, so they need to have replacements for it. I'd like to see it localized on something, especially since you're paying $22,000, but you're getting shown coursework. So I did reach out to students and some responses, and the majority of them wanted to remain anonymous, but I'm going to quickly slam even more negative reviews across the screen. I asked people some very simple questions. I asked them, one, do they feel SDI was worth it? And 80% of the people I asked said no. I asked 20 people, so most of them said no. I asked, did they feel like they got a complete knowledge of gunsmithing from SDI? Every single one of them said no. The third question I asked them was very simple. I said, did SDI put you further forward in your career or into a higher paying position as a gunsmith? No. All of them said no. After him dropping out, us doing research, seeing all of these negative reviews, we couldn't shill SDI.
Yeah, it didn't seem worth it.
We couldn't shill SDI. We couldn't tell you guys to spend $22,000 on there to let them siphon your GI Bill.
Good for them.
SDI just makes so much money, and they put so much money into the GunTube community. It really sucks to see because YouTube is constantly robbing from us. So we're pushed into these situations where like SDI will want to give you $5,000 a month and sponsor your channel because they have just stupid amounts of money, thanks to the top influencers shilling them and them just getting students that, if you have a GI Bill, it doesn't cost you anything, so they just siphon it.
I got some FAFSA money, some government money that I ended up having to repay because I dropped out. But that $1,370 a month was what I was paying after I got my student aid. So it is expensive.
It's a lot of money that they're taking from people.
So Ryan,
we just don't like to see it. We couldn't rightfully shill it. It might be something that you look into and you go, you guys are crazy.
Maybe you need to come up with the actual gun course, or does such a thing not exist? It would be actually like a CNC operator's
that's really it.
Degree is what it.
I would consider myself a well-versed armor, but to be a real gunsmith, you need to be learning. That's one thing that really disappoints me about this course. Be a good gunsmith. You need to learn how to use a lathe. You need to learn how to use other various tools with someone who has experience doing it. Yeah, particularly an employer. That's the best way to do it, is to go learn from someone who is a gunsmith already. I'm fortunate that we have a really good gunsmith close to me, and we're friends and everything, and he's a great guy, great gunsmith. And if I have questions that are beyond my skill level, he's the first person I go and consult. And he doesn't mind to show me how to fix those problems if he needs me, or if I need him to. That way I can know how to do it next time. But to be a proper gunsmith, yeah, you need to know how to use these machining tools in order to make parts and fix problems. And there's no way that an at-home course like SDI is going to teach you how to use this equipment.
Right.
Yeah, that's...
So the course was marketed under, it could be internet marketing that's caused this. It might not be the owners of SDI. Let's consider that maybe, that they just wanted to make a course. They know a lot about guns. And then the marketing team got in there and they kind of inflated the marketing language. That could be who is to blame here, because...
Yeah, but
I always
they called it a gunsmithing course. They called it like a basic introduction to guns, or an armorer's course, or something like that. I could see that.
Right.
Like an armorer's course.
Yeah, I can see
cool.
that.
Okay, cool.
You
want to go to an armorer's course and learn? Sure. But calling this a gunsmithing course is a bit of a stretch. You know what I mean? Most of the good gunsmiths that I know personally didn't have a gunsmithing school that they went to. They might have went to some kind of engineering school or something like that. Right. But they didn't. They learned how to be gunsmiths themselves. And if you're feeling froggy and you know enough about what you're doing, you can get an 07 FFL, which is manufacturer's FFL, and you can do all that kind of work.
Right.
Thanks for coming, Stabby.
Yeah, thanks for coming along, man. Enjoy the work and everything. Yeah, thanks for coming. Do you think that there's good information out there, though, Ryan, that where people can still get it? They didn't need to go and pay this, 20 racks, whatever, on a... There used to be, and there should still be, right?
I think
there isn't really
and it was free. YouTube used to have countless videos that were free to watch and were filled with great information step by step on how to do things. And back in the day when I worked in a gun store and I was learning how to do things with firearms I didn't have any experience with, I'll give you a great example. The Smith & Wesson M&P, the original M&P, when it came out, that's when Apex Tactical Specialties became a big thing, because they made a trigger for the Smith & Wesson M&P that just blew the factory trigger out of the water, right? So we had a couple customers that bought these things, and a lot of customers in the gun store, they don't want to put the trigger in themselves. They're going to want somebody in the gun store to do it. So I volunteered myself to do these triggers because I wanted to learn how to install them, because there's a few things that are different from like doing a Glock or something. Glocks are a little bit easier to do, especially at that time. And I was struggling a little bit on a couple of parts, and I went on YouTube and I found videos that showed me step by step how to do it. But you can't do that now. And it's made the gun world, I think, a less safe place, because platforms like YouTube are making it to where we can't show those videos of how to assemble, how to disassemble, how to do proper maintenance, how to fix problems. You're not allowed to talk about that now. So I think it's much more difficult for the average shooter who may not know a lot about the platform that they're using to find reliable, good information on how to do this stuff. And maybe we should make some armorers videos. And that way you'll at least have some...
We totally should, man. We should totally make some videos on stuff like that, man. That's why I was asking. Is like, I mean, if
because we could
if the video, if there's
Patreon.
Right, and actually get the real deal. And I mean, in terms of learning to be an armorer, yeah, you don't need to spend $20,000.
No.
I mean, you could even get the stuff for CNC. Like, if you're looking for CNC, my father used to do AutoCAD and these things, and there's no way you need to pay $20K to learn that. I mean, sure, you need to go to technical college, you need to learn some stuff about engineering, but Well, I don't know. When you compare the bills at the end of it, it depends.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You need to if you're gonna do this whole gunsmithing thing, you need to be up to speed on geometry, because that's what 99% of this is getting the geometry right. And there's jigs and all this stuff out there that you can use, you know what I mean? But you still should know the knowledge of why does this hole have to go here, and it has to be done very specifically. We're talking about some of these tolerances when it comes to firearms are in the thousands, so you have to make sure this stuff is extremely accurate, and it's painfully obvious at this point that you're not going to get that knowledge from Sonoran Desert Institute.
Wow. So there we have it, and they've been advertising for a very long time. So I wonder what the recourse with that would be. Will they come back from it? Will they maybe update their course, update their way of teaching, maybe look at offering different modules, like you're saying, something more that's on geometry basis, on practical basis, on working with materials?
I mean, if they're bringing in $60 million a year, they can obviously afford to come up with better courses. $60 million a year, you can buy a facility and have a real course.
I thought there was a facility. That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought there was you went out to a place, like, when you paid for this thing.
Yeah, apparently
when they said it was the Desert Institute, the mental image you have is like a big training camp out in the desert, is what I thought, and whatever else goes with that. So that's pretty wild to learn that wasn't the case, and that these guys are, So,
okay, Stabby said, I was just getting ready to leave while listening. It's cool the American Rifle channel is still free, still on YouTube, and can still teach you some things about smithing. That's good to know. So there you guys go. The School of the American Rifle channel on YouTube, if you're looking to learn a little bit about how to do things. It's a shame that it's not as widespread, the knowledge on YouTube, like it used to be able to, but our overlords say that we can't know these things, that is verboten knowledge.
I don't see why that makes the world a safer place, but I'm not sure if it's up for debate. They just want to make the rules, and we're going to go along with it. But
it's not up for debate. They have issued the command that thou shalt not make instructional videos on firearms, and we have to obey or be deplatformed. But that doesn't mean we can't do it in other places like Patreon or X.
Speaking of X, we've got an awesome post going on there on X. Check it out. Check our profile. Chance to get some really cool stuff we can't talk about on other platforms. But yeah, it's all on. Yeah, freedom seeds are being planted over there. X.com/guncoyote. Gun_coyote.
Free
and
seeds. 100% free seeds. No purchase.
No purchase. No purchase. No gimmicks. And yeah, speaking of that, we have another update in the Mr. Beast saga, in the big old story.
Yeah.
It's there in your DMs, right, dog? Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably going to... You know what? He's been DMCAing everybody that talks about him at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this video ends up getting DMCA'd and we have to cut the end of it off so that people can watch the replay. But we're going to do it anyway, because it deserves to be exposed.
It's just, let's just run it anyway, man.
Yeah, let's run it anyway. I don't care. Let them DMCA it. It's fine. We'll just cut that part out if they do it. But at least the people watching live would be able to, see it. They haven't DMCA'd this one yet, so we might get away with it.
One of the things that I like so much about Rosetta Stone is their style of learning.
I've tried Rosetta Stone.
I'm hungry. All right, jokes for food. I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it. Hey, what the hell happened to you? Mr. Beast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
I was gonna be somebody. I was gonna be this. Carl took my job. Carl took my job. It's the worst production I did to make me do. Oh, no.
Okay, Content Cop from Temu back at it again. So just before I get into my interrogation with former Mr. Beast employee Jake Weddle, A lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former Mr. Beast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like, most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think
this is the latest update. Just went up an
with,
hour ago.
You know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also, I have like more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that Mr. Beast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2. You know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know Mr. Beast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former Mr. Beast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 Boys versus Girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable. You know, you trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Anyway, so that will be part 3. So, you know, Mr. Beast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a Mr. Beast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at Mr. Beast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video. So I got his DM, drove straight to New York overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine. And I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It you know, builds up over time. But I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from Mr. Beast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time.
Is he saying...
videos, I've worked on a lot of them.
Ryan, is he saying that someone's on the sex offenders registry whilst working at Mr. Beast?
Authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. He went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you know, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. Oh, that feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, you know, doing well. And I was, you know, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right? Like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come we didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy, and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, and they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to, or I'll be sad. If this is the moment, we're going to talk about it. So, as far as that, that's my covering up the why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is like admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly, she goes, what? I'm on vacation. Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
Yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put a down payment on a new car, and they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. $10K was supposed to be a down payment. And I can't afford a big flashy new car because I work at Mr. Beast. So I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the taxes on. I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the insurance on. So I do my part of the video, and I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, why didn't you get a cooler car? I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? If I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy howdy, I could retire. But the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy. Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up, and one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the V stuff shook out was
Was the dude breaking down now?
I feel really guilty about the way this shook out.
He's really breaking down.
Yeah, I was talking to this other writer,
It's just getting too emotional for him.
That's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more.
What happened?
Kid.
I have no idea. He just
and he didn't want to rock
breaking
the
down.
boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat.
Look, I can see the tears in his eyes.
But he said, hey man, that's how you feel, if that's I trust you.
You got probed, bro.
You went with me.
By aliens.
I said at my piece, and he backed me up. I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And they said, bet, and they gave me a severance check the next day.
Jacker?
And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it.
Are we peaking, guys?
We're peaking.
Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? I don't get the deal with the how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? You know, and I get to go home and you're gonna pay me to leave. I was over the moon, and he was devastated. He did not want. I said he just wanted to be in the room, you know. And I really regret that. But you know, me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Kinda. Yeah.
So maybe you're still better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal. And I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought, if you're gonna do something nice for somebody, and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, that you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street, and you saw an opportunity for yourself and your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, you know, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. You know, I'm so glad if you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there, and I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, you know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ, and then I got the severance checks, so, you know, whatever, all that regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos after that, right?
Right, so in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public, let's have him back for something. You know, yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back, you know? And I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days in a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, you know, clocked in with a rate.
When's Leanie's gonna cry in it? I think he does start crying about this story.
Video I was in, I got paid a lot for it, but
maybe we just skip a little bit.
It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video that came out like a hot tub.
Probably the most common question that I'm asked as a professor at Hillsdale is, what happened to my country?
In an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is going to be you deciding like what items am I going to get rid of, you know, today, and it's like the choice. They were like, it's only going to be bad for maybe the last like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first. It's going to be like a breeze for most of it, and by the end of it, after 30 days, you're going to get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up. You know, on paper, I was like, okay, I can do this, and they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, you know, editors had told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. That I held my tongue, I swallowed my pride, and I tried to do one last ride. And I get there, and at first it's fine. And I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, you know, which that's probably not good. You know, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. It looks good on camera. You know, it's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios They had to like get like a separate like tank for, you know, septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like, things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub, if not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. You know, there's not like a hot water mechanism. So the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking like a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy mildew.
I have no idea.
Like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. You know, there was like
But did he get paid
the bug
$300K?
thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor. And like at first it was fine, you know, and you're playing it up like, because you know it's a video, and it got to a point where like they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them,
Right.
I said, can we like have like nighttime hours?
Or yeah.
You know, and they said no because it would fuck up the
Maybe
time lapse shots. The time lapse of what?
Maybe
Sleeping?
this. I
Are you
mean,
not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did.
we've never seen the video before.
you're gonna
I
get
did skip it
20
earlier.
hours
It
of
looked like he
sunlight.
was crying. It's just been
Oh,
unloaded.
great! Well, I don't know how they figured that one out. I didn't have it. You know,
You need to skip
one of
some
the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, like, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me. I had a lot of good people looking out for me saying, this we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
I can sleep with the lights on. It's not going to bother me a bit.
They're giving me, you know, melatonin.
If you're going to really give me
you know,
$300K, I'll sit
it's
in
not
that
helping.
paint fume
You know,
smelly cell
and
for
then
30 days.
Jimmy
I'm
would
down.
come
Let's
in
do it. Sign
like
me up.
every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so you'd come by, you get the shot.
You're getting paid.
Sometimes he'd have a note from the director. Oh, the song, that would really piss me off.
$300K.
This is the
I'm fine
note
with it.
I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that?
No, not for $300K.
To pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage.
You want to give me
But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want.
It's called acting,
you
right?
want your student loans paid off, you just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does.
To make it genuine, then I had to say a line
yeah, I agree
on the
to it.
camera.
Right. That
I needed
broke
it,
him.
of
So
course.
fucking different.
30 days.
Bro, it
There's
was
something about like
dude.
it was
having the
broken.
cameras
man.
on me all the
Mentally
time.
devastated from it.
Like I
Imagine
was
this guy on a
I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny. You know, I'm a dark comic. You know, I got bits about. I had a very traumatic life. I have my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor. You know, so this kind of stuff is very near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit. Yeah, I have jokes.
Here we go.
about
I
that
think
in
the
my
waterworks are coming.
You know, I joke about it because that's what you do in a traumatic experience. You know, abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do a typine about it. You know, so I'm in this situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse. But we're filming.
Your mental health is not good.
So I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the camera. And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days. I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera. But it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one? You know, if we're allowed to let these cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge, how come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't maybe not have some time-lapse footage for 10 seconds?
Did you try to get out?
Yes! I was starting to calculate, I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I, well, how can I manage to get out of here sooner and still have a video and still have some cash and get the plug, man. I did. Since we're doing time-lapse shots and since they insisted on time-lapse shots, I said, all right, we'll give you time-lapse shots back. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh no, either that goes in or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warren came in and erased it. You know, fucking, you know, don't put that. Hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there. You know. Like we were playing up the joke. You know, it's like I'm the boy in the cage. You know, whatever. Like I'll play into a joke. Whatever, it's fine. It's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad. Because I love jokes with my dad. I'll joke with my dad all the time. That guy's a piece of shit. I hate my dad. But I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine, because I know their intent. I know where they're coming from. When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I sometimes seem weird. I don't like it. We were doing that one of those hide and seek videos. Again, you know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught, and when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, all right, you're going to jail, you know, like your dad. And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. And that wasn't cool. And so now, I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." And he goes, well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits. Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm thinking, like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so the thing that made me want to, I gotta get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, "Why is he sleeping?" I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, "Ask me why I have 2 briefcases." And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, "Oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge." And I go, "What's the challenge today?" He goes, You're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic, I'm dumb, I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." I was like, "On camera, I don't want to do that." He goes, "Just do it for the thing, like kid, you know." Like there was an element of, oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in house. You know, that's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. We know he's. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run, you know, let alone a marathon, let alone have training for it. So I was in a sunlightless, you know.
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know?
Doesn't it like cross his mind to just do his own thing?
Just, right. Oh, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back." And I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid.
You know how far I've had to walk with blisters, bro?
I got off the treadmill.
Imagine what boot camp would do to this guy. Like, imagine what real life would do to this guy.
Yeah, that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm done.
This dude wouldn't have
easy mode. What is this?
And that's when
they would destroy this guy.
And talk to Psych about how I'm not well. And like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, you got to pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work.
Well, I mean, who wears a shirt with poop on it?
Yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everyone loves you. They go,
yeah.
Oh, Shane, I don't love that guy. Shane, what happened to him?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm kind of
like I'm a ghost.
I'm gonna find out what.
And I asked him. I said,
search for it in the search.
And the guy
doesn't
goes,
exist.
Realistically, like at least 7 more days.
Okay.
No.
So he possibly owns some kind of.
And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure,
whatever they call it.
Everything was fine.
Yeah, I went straight to the website.
So
it's like a
slept for a while.
domain thing.
They turned the lights off.
You're a brave man.
And they brought. It's like they brought in all my friends, to make it. They brought it on people.
Here we go. See?
And Jimmy.
I told you, man. I knew I saw it.
Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay.
He's not having a good time, bro.
No. I mean, like this dude.
But Jimmy had his like.
This dude's like mentally.
He was sitting in the chair, turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God, everyone was looking at me, and he was like Lex Luthor over there.
That's painfully obvious.
He turns around. He stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video and he's
Yeah, that's.
He's like, oh, stop! You're gonna make me cry. And he like touches his eye or whatever, as if he's crying. He's not. He's just. I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Yeah, your mental health's the most important thing. Just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is. I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before I got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got. He goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned.
Okay.
You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone.
Should have found more write-offs.
I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals.
So you paid $44,000 in taxes, got $100,000. You spent $66,000 on stand-up.
On a Beast Sept. In any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks. And then I'd still gotten some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time. And I feel good now. I just had to get that off there.
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, a few days after he got out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep, even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things.
Yeah, I'd be a little
concerned.
This
is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a Mr. Beast video. Hey Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. Hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy and my therapist is concerned. Haha, but my legs and joints feel better, like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face, but hey, I'm out, I'm alive. Therapist who knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money, so good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place. I still can't sleep. I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lots of thinking, too much one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like, even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like, if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like, the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical, like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenges really made it feel dehumanizing. Felt like a parody of Mr. Beast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned, and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said, we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document at Mr. Beast called How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No Does Not Mean No. Already insane, because it's sort of, it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads, when dealing with people outside Mr. Beast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that when combined dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at Mr. Beast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time is like, a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean everything up. So the producer's sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like, they're financially incentivized to be manipulative and sort of, they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled Mr. Beast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Ayden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with Mr. Beast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a Mr. Beast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It. where at the end of that video, he actually says,
If you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Hold on, is that him with an LMG? In the thumbnail,
yes, he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually...
Why has he got guns? He's got...
Where at the end of that video, he actually says...
If you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Yes, he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was at this camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew, and because grace, or forgiveness, has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by Mr. Beast's production team. And that's like sort of the thing is, if you're around Greenville, you know these stories of people working with Mr. Beast and it being extremely unprofessional, them not doing what they say, but they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like, they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like, I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early, we don't have a video and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of like him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying. Which, you know, I'm sure this isn't like technically against the Geneva Convention on torture because he wasn't technically a prisoner. Like, he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe, had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it. Because I had it rough growing up, and I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand-up, he loves YouTube, everyone, fixates on a thing, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior, if you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you can do some things that maybe aren't good, but reap reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what the system that we have set up demanded. And he didn't care who got hurt. And I think Jimmy surrounded himself with really, really not so great people, and those people were the ones making the decisions. And I want to say, really important, there are so many good people that work at Mr. Beast who are damn good at their jobs. Like, when Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do. And so I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I'll die in a hole. I don't care. But I don't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked. But let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved it. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. And so when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No. Surely. And then, everyone, thought my mom was the bitch, for not, But then the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, You just go, when I saw my dad in the news, I said, oh, you idiots. Like, I was like, no, I was, oh, dumbass, god damn it. But I wasn't surprised. And it was just consequences happening to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And
yeah, if he didn't pay, what do you do with the rest of the money?
Loves Jimmy.
Right.
And behind closed doors,
if he didn't pay, what happened to the rest of the money?
And
exactly.
that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally. And it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess, yeah, just one final question on a serious note.
This is
obviously the Ava Chris Tyson
This is
drama.
a weird video.
And you know, that's a known issue of traditional media. Did you witness or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast just because I was on Beast Hacks. Now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just, you know, being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up,
I don't know if you want to wrap it up. I haven't. I'm
desensitized to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Like, whoa, that's
I
crazy.
agree with the chat. Yeah, I don't know what is. I tried to listen. Mr. Beast doesn't do his thing he said he would do. Is that what this new video means then? Another one saying that he steals panties. I don't quite understand what it's all about, but it's not. Doesn't sound like very good news from Mr. Beast.
No, I mean, this guy right here, I'm kind of unsure about this particular dude too. You know, he seems like he's it seems like he's had some like issues before he even decided to take on some of this stuff, and this type of work exacerbated those issues. I don't think he's a person that should be in this kind of industry, to be honest. Not trying to defend Mr. Beast or anything, but this dude seems like someone who is like not all there to begin with to be in this kind of competition or challenge or whatever you want to call it.
All right, it wasn't really the video I was expecting. I was expecting them to have something of substance, but yeah, there it is. That's their video.
Right.
Okay, so Mr. Beast, bad news. He's getting cancelled. Maybe it's real, or maybe we'll find out what's going on with it. But yeah, we'll keep everyone posted on that. I think I'm going to wrap it up there, man.
Yeah.
And,
we've been going on for a while now, and
I
have to leave for a reunion early in the morning. Going to a Marine Corps reunion, so we will be back live next week. But I hope to have some great content to share with you guys from that reunion, and for you guys to get to hear some of the personal stories from the men who fought in those wars.
Have a great time, man. Great trip, and catch you on the other side. And thanks everyone for joining. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until next time, man.
Have a great night. And
right.
don't forget to go to magdump.net and get your